Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with 60 and Me. Thanks so much for being here today. Hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. I know it's a crazy, chaotic time in the world right now, and I'm sure wherever you are, whatever you're doing, we're all experiencing our kind of level of uncertainty and just dealing with this world. But I'm so grateful to be here. I'm just so happy that I wake up every day, and yeah, a few aches and pains, but I'm really, really grateful, and I'm grateful for you. And I want you to know that this is a very, very special community. Every day I read your emails and your comments, and I'm just so amazed at the depth of character at this group of women in our 60s. And some are 50, some are 40. We've got a whole range of people, and I'm so happy that you're here. So thank you, thank you. Now my tea. My tea this morning is it's a paca, and it's actually charmante. It's called charmante, but it's like a berry tea. It's got blackberries and black currants and hibiscus, which is one of my very, very favorite little teas. So it's kind of fruity and fun, and got it in my red mug. So anyway, thanks again for sharing my morning drink with me, and hope you got tea or coffee too. Now, our sponsor for today's show is International Living. They are a company that helps to help people retire abroad, and they have people on the ground. Important this fact that people living in these places reporting back on what the world is really like there, so you can make decisions with fully informed state of mind. So if you go up to internationalliving.com and then /60 and me, you can request a copy of their Global Retirement Index, and that's a report on places around the world that you can consider retiring. So that's our partner for today, and I appreciate it very much. Now, I've got a great article here that I want to share with you by one of our bloggers, Joan Moran. Now, Joan is an awesome writer. She writes great things for us and for the community, and she's also a really cool person. I want to meet everybody in our blogger community and also in our 60 and Me community, but she's a neat person, and she's written this article, which I think is so helpful when we're thinking about how to deal with the world. How to deal with the stresses of our world and the reality of where we live and how we live. So she talks about 4 different things ways you can find your center this spring. Find your center, because that for Joan is the heart of fulfillment and joy and peace in your life. To take the time to find out where you are, what are your priorities, and then to move forward with that lens on everything else. As chaotic as that might be, if you're centered, then you can deal with it, or at least you can deal with it better than without. I mean, I know for sure one of the things she talks about is living an examined life. And it's actually very cool. She leaves a couple of quotes here that are very interesting. The first one is from Socrates, who was a philosopher in the 1st century. And he said that an unexamined life is not worth living. It's just, you've just got to examine your life. You've just got to be constantly looking at who you are, what's important, and, just being centered. Einstein, he said, we can't solve problems by using the same kind of thinking that we used when we created them. So we have to think differently. We have to be always looking for ways to redefine our world and our reality. Things that we've got ourselves into. What was the point? How do we manage to do that? What was the thing that we did? And then once you find that answer, then you can find new solutions. Interesting point. The Buddha said, believe nothing, no matter where you read it, or who said it, or no matter if I have said it, the Buddha, unless it agrees with your own reason and your own common sense. And we say this all the time here on 60 and Me, is that we have wonderful bloggers that write for us. Everything they write is their opinion. And we always say, never believe anything that you read here or anywhere. Go and do your own research. And then, as Joan says now, apply it to your life, to your own, your balance. She actually talks about determining what's important in your life and finding that point of balance by elimination. Once you've identified the stressors, the things that stress you out. I mean, I can list 3, 1, 2, 3 things that just stress me out a little bit. Then once you've identified them, then you can do things to work around them. You can find solutions for them. And sometimes there's that little word compromise. For example, I don't like flying. I just don't like flying. But I can take the train. I can take ships. I can walk. I can drive, but sometimes I need to fly because I just do. And it's just too far to do. There's other things, or there's no trains that go there, and that's just a silly thing. But that is a stress for me sometimes, and maybe it's for some of you. I love traveling on the ground. Mostly because I like looking out the window and doing things. I'm not so much afraid of the plane. I just don't like the experience of that. Anyway, that's just me. But so she said it's important once you identify your stressors to actually then look at it, to sort of line it up with your value system. What you can give up, what you can't give up, and then make a decision how you're going to cope with that. And a lot of times she says that, which I think is so true, is that things that we are stressed about are actually not even worth stressing about because they're not really stress. I mean, are not going to happen, very unlikely. And if they do happen, they're not probably going to be as bad as we thought. And that's just one of those realities of how our little crazy brains work, is that we have this worry mechanism. It's a negative lens that goes back to our days of survival. But anyway, once you find the stresses, then you can find ways to get out of them, or at least around them. So what can you do? What are some of the things? First thing, meditate. Now, I think I've mentioned this before. I mean, there's been a couple of things that have happened this year for me that really have caused me to pause. And I've had to deal with some situations where, honestly, if I didn't have my practice, because I practiced meditation all my life, if I didn't have my practice, I would have been very, very nervous and upset. And I use my meditation, not like hours of sitting, but just, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just meditate, just stop my random monkey mind thoughts and just get to the point. What's really going on here? What can I control? What can I not control? And that's super helpful. So meditate is one thing that Joan absolutely refers to, and it slows down your thoughts and it gets you closer to that balance, to that core you that she talked about, that center. Another thing is take time to rest. And we can do this now. I mean, even if you're working, you can take some time during the middle of the day to go sit down and meditate during your lunch break, or if you have a chance to do that. But you've got time perhaps after you've retired to just give yourself a day off. Give yourself some hours on the weekend where you don't have to do anything. Just rest. It's okay. I sometimes feel myself that I have to be doing things all the time. You don't. You can rest and take it easy. And have a nap. Take it easy. It's okay. Another thing that Joan talks about is choosing balance. Finding balance in the food that you eat, in the exercise that you do, in the TV that you watch, in the books that you read. Find balance. You don't have to do it all. You don't have to work out, 5 hours a day or even 5 hours a week. 10 minutes a day is better than not doing it. And it's just finding balance, whatever that balance is for you, and then not worrying about it. Like just not being worried. I love one of our cards is about this. Is about just finding balance and being at peace. I love that. So the final thing that she talks about is searching out silence. Silence. Whether it is meditation, whether it's going on a retreat, whether it is going in nature for a walk, whatever you do, just find a little time in the day where you just stop talking. Just have a silent moment. It's very powerful. Your center is your truth. And I remember there's a quote by Pema Chodron, which is something like, the closer that you get to fear, the closer you get to the truth. And I think that a lot of the fears we have about stress and worry is just so random that if we can center ourselves with a quiet moment, we will recognize that fear is the truth, is getting close to a truth, to our center. So that's the fourth thing. So I really enjoyed this article, Joan. Thank you again for writing it and sharing it with the community. I hope that you found some little gems of actionable things that you can do. Meditate, take time to rest, choose balance, find silence. 4 cool things to calm down and find your center. So I hope that you have a great day, everybody. Have you got something fun planned? I'd love to know, what do you do to find your center? What do you do to, calm down? Do you meditate? Do you do some exercise, walking? What do you do to calm yourself? I'd like to know. Let's share your ideas. We'll have a little conversation here. I'll join in too. But leave your comments in the section below the article here. And just want to thank you again for being here. Thanks for your support and your wonderful encouragement. And just be kind to yourselves and have a really good day. Take care, everyone. Bye bye for now.